Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Matt from Diazable, here with another album review. And today we're talking about the new Cannibal Corpse album. Boom, right here. Chaos Horrific. A little background on this album and this band is this is their 16th release as a band, and they've been going strong since about 1988, I think. So almost more than 30 years now. Cannibal Corpse comes from Buffalo, New York, and they are one of the biggest forefront, like legendary 90s death metal band that's been just putting out brutal, heavy, disgusting, nasty metal for years now. Um, they're pretty famous and everything in terms of like everyone in the metal scene knows about them. Or if not, you've seen their album covers for being very violent and very disgusting looking. And they've had a few guest spots throughout the years. People might know them if they were in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective back in the day, because Jim Carrey likes them. And they've done a lot of work and are one of the biggest supporters of underground metal and everything. So I'm excited to fully like check out and flesh out a Cannibal Corpse album because I recently got into them maybe a couple of years ago. It took me a long time to get into them, but hey, I'm here and I'm gonna go through their discography eventually and everything. But right now, we're checking out their newest album. So let's talk about it. Yeah. Overlords of Violence. Nice bass tone at the beginning of this song, and then it flows into a good, brutal, nasty flow from the vocalist and everything, Corpse Grinder. And overall, the groove on this album, well, this song, is pretty steady and very tight and headbanging track, typical metal stuff here. The lyrics flowing pretty well and chaotic as well. Fast and chaotic guitar solo as well. I want to say they sound just as good as they did 30 years ago because I haven't listened to all their stuff, but their most famous stuff, um, like Hammer Smash Face, and this all and whatnot. This sounds pretty good for being 30 years into the game. Um, the bass though is very aggressive, which is surprisingly good. Like it's nice to hear. Overall, it's a good opening track, I think.
Even when you're gone, I'll tell them my religion's you. When punctures
Frenzied Feeding. I think it's a good title for this song because they are just going wild on this track. It's very frenzy. Intense chugs and power slamming drums. There's a very, very thin line of grooviness that's in this song, which is cool and everything with how intense they sound. They're just going all off. This is like them like proving that they're still like, hey, we're here and we can still pack a punch. Uh, During like the bridge and everything in the song, the guitars and bass sound really hard and like very, very heavy. Midway through the song, they slow it down a bit and they go for a more of a heavier sound. Overall, quite mesmerizing midsection with the guitars and whatnot into some more high-pitched guitar solo. Overall, it's a banger of a song, I think. So here's a clip of Friends Feeding. Those guitars just sound like so like brutal, like a chainsaw or something. Summon for Sacrifice. Slow drum and guitar buildup. Slower song compared to the other songs, but it does have a heavy feel to it still because it is Cannibal Corpse. Um, yeah, and then then it goes into like a frantic onslaught of drums, guitars, and the vocalist just being like heavy as fuck. Right before they switch it up and it gets a little stale, they slow it down a bit with the drums and everything. Got some chops here, but overall, I think it's just an okay song. Blood Blind. Heavy and slow ripping sound. Guitars are crunchy here. Vocals are switched up a little bit. He has a different bit of vocal patterns here. But a lot is going on in this song. It's a very messy song, it feels like. And heavy, but not in the best way, I think. And in the middle of the song, they switch it up a little bit and it becomes a little bit disjointed. I will say the part where he's saying subjugate, subjugate over and over sounds pretty sick. The vocals remind me of Beneath the Massacre a bit too, if you know that band. Vengeful Invasion. The guitars are the most prominent thing on this particular track, especially with how high pitched they sound and what kind of groove they have. A lot of interesting guitar work on this song. The lyrics are a little on the weaker side here, I think, a bit bland. Very they sound sonically different and everything in terms of how the vocals are being performed, but the lyrics are not the best, I think. But I will say I like at the ending of the song the way he's screaming vengeful invasion. It's pretty cool. Drums and bass and everything are kind of just doing their thing, but mostly it's a guitar focused song. So here's a little clip of Vengeful Invasion. Yeah, it's okay. Chaos Horrific. This song kind of goes with the title. It is very chaotic and everything. It's a fast one for sure, ripping through with their shreddy guitars and everything, but it's very disjointed at the very beginning of the song and whatnot. And it's all over the place in terms of timing and riffing and whatnot. Drums seem a bit sloppy here, and like they're just going too fast and they can't keep up with one another, and it just seems they lose their pacing here a bit with this particular song. Kind of hard to follow along to this song. Fracture and Refracture. There's a bit of an awkward drum roll at the beginning of this song, but then it kind of moves into a fast and groovy Cannibal Corpse style and whatnot. Overall, nothing really sticks out for me for this song. Maybe the lyrics, they're kind of gnarly because they're talking about literally taking someone apart and then rebuilding them. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, Pitchfork Impalement. Interesting scaling from the guitars on this one. And the lyrics are very brutal, like talking stabbing the bones, stabbing the organs. Oof. The groove on here is really, really good. And the instruments are pretty slick from what I can tell. And again, the lyrics are very catchy, very gnarly, penetrating the skull. And they really use the hi-hats well on this song, especially throughout the course of the song. So here's a little clip of Pitchfork Impalement. Very Cannibal Corpse. Pestilentio Ricus. It's a whirlwind of guitar work on this song with tight percussions as well. But I will say the guitar transitions though are a little awkward throughout the song and whatnot. It's heavy and somewhat catchy at times, and it has a really nice guitar riff towards the end of the song, but overall it's not doing too much for me, or I feel like for anyone really. Drain You Empty. It's a big and slow song to start off, and they really use the kick drum and the double kicks on the song very well. Overall, it makes sense. It's a big, heavy song to end the album on, so I think that's what they were shooting for. And Drain You Empty, the line seems kind of lame and kind of cheesy here. The guitars sound pretty crunchy and whatnot, and it has a very bold and large ending to the song, which makes it a good send-off for this album. And yeah, so those are my thoughts on this album from Cannibal Corpse, Chaos Horrific. And I think people might say, and I feel like I might say this, it's not their worst album, but it's not their best. It's going to be, I think, a big in the middle ground for a lot of people, because a lot of the songs at times can be a bit messy and just a little bit too chaotic and disjointed, and like with the transitions and stuff, like some of the transitions with the guitar work and everything are a bit awkward at times, so it can be a bit janky with some of the songs. But when a song is really good on this album, it's pretty darn good. Like, it hits pretty well with how tight the percussions can be and the interesting guitar playing here, and the bass is mixed in well. And then Corpse Grinder's vocals and whatnot sound pretty heavy and consistent, and he switches up the pattern every once in a while. So like when they do hit, they hit pretty hard, but then there are some like kind of midpoints and not low points, but just kind of like songs on this album. But I would also say the production helps a lot with those mid songs because they sound really good on this album. Everyone sounds mixed in well and just layered nicely and whatnot. So I think this big album from Cannibal Corpse is a solid 7 out of 10. Yeah, so tell me what you think about this album from Cannibal Corpse. Leave your comments down below. Um, if you're into death metal, check these guys out. You're gonna love them, and I'm pretty sure if you're here on this channel, you already know about them and just curious about another person's opinion. So thanks for listening to my opinion. Thanks for coming on by. I am Matt from Diazable. Check out this next video, like and subscribe, and I will see you later, guys. Bye.